Hello students, by this video let us learn the structure of oxoacids of sulfur which comes in the unit 3 of P block elements 2. So oxoacids of sulfur form many oxoacids. So oxoacids means oxygen is present, acid means which donate proton. Yes, so that proton is hydrogen H plus ion, that is your hydrogen, and sulfur. So this together, sulfur, hydrogen, oxygen together forms the oxoacids of sulfur. Okay, so in this oxoacids of sulfur, the most important one is sulfuric acid. So what is the formula for sulfuric acid? H2S H2SO4. So this is the formula for sulfuric acid. So from this acid, many other oxoacids of sulfur are formed. Okay, so in our textbook, 10 oxoacids of sulfur are given. 10 oxoacids of sulfur are written here in the sequential order based on the sulfur and oxygen atom. Okay, so first comes the sulfurous acid. Sulfurous acid, the formula is H2SO3. Then comes the sulfuric acid H2SO4. Then peroxymonosulfuric acid H2SO5. Okay, so in this oxoacids, the first three, H2SO3, that is sulfurous acid, H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid, and H2SO5, peroxymonosulfuric acid. So all in these oxoacids, only one sulfur atom is present. Okay, now the other oxoacids like thiosulfuric acid, H2S2O3, dithionous acid, H2S2O4, disulfurous acid, H2S2O5, dithionic acid, H2S2O6, disulfuric acid, that is H2S2O7, peroxydisulfuric acid, H2S2O8, and polythionic acid, H2SN plus 2O6. So I have written the sequential order. All the oxoacids are written in sequential order based on the sulfur and oxygen atom. Now in the thiosulfuric acid, H2S2O3. So from here till the ninth one, that is till the peroxydisulfuric acid, you can see all the sulfur atom is double. 2 sulfur atoms are there, whereas in this 3, 1 sulfur atom is there. So understand that difference. Okay, so why I tell you the difference? Because it is easy for you to memorize the structures and names of these oxoacids of sulfur. Okay, yes, now we should also learn how to write the structure for all these oxoacids one by one. Okay, so in all these oxoacids, the ultimate, the important oxoacids of sulfur is H2SO4, sulfuric acid. So from this formula only all other formulas are getting derived. So that I will explain you how that names are derived and how the structures are written for those oxoacids. Fine. So first let us look into the sulfuric acid H2SO4. So this is the basic oxoacids of sulfur. So from this H2SO4, how these 3 oxoacids, that is sulfurous acid, sulfuric acid and peroxymonosulfuric acid is obtained, we will just learn now. Okay. Is the important and the ultimate oxoacid of sulfur from which all these oxoacids are derived. of acids, they are generally in the salt form. They are always in the salt form. Yes, so they are not existing as free acids there. Okay, so they are in the form of salt and they are unstable. Fine. Now, the first three. Sequentially, the first three, sulfurous acid, sulfuric acid and peroximonosulfuric acid, how the names are formed and how the structure is written, I'll just explain you now. Yes, so I said you ultimate, it is the sulfuric acid, H2SO4. So from this formula, H2SO4, you just minus one oxygen atom. You just minus one oxygen atom. So what you get? You get H2SO3. You get. So what is H2SO3? That is sulfurous acid. It is sulfurous acid. Because you are losing one oxygen from the sulfuric acid, so you become sulfurous acid. Sulfurous acid. Okay. Now from the same sulfuric acid, you just add one oxygen to it, so it becomes H2SO5. H2SO5. Okay, so this H2SO5 means what is it? It is mono means one. Monosulfuric acid. Yes? Now did you get it? Okay, fine. So now we understood how sulfurous acid is formed from H2SO4 and how peroximonosulfuric acid is obtained from H2SO4. So peroximonosulfuric acid is H2SO5 and sulfurous acid is H2SO3. Got it? Yes. So peroxy means you will be having, like, hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. So here your bond will be like this, O bond O. So O bond O will be present in the peroxy monosulfuric acid. So we'll see that, but we'll just see how the structure is drawn for these three single sulfur atom oxoacids. Fine. Now let us study how to write the names and structures of other oxoacids. Fine. So the first three oxoacids only you are taking as the basic structure. Okay. So sulfurous acid, sulfuric acid and peroximonosulfuric acid only you are taking. So from this only the other oxoacids are derived. So we'll see how it is derived. So sulfurous acid H2SO3, you just multiply with 2. You are multiplying with 2. Okay. Yes, so into 2. Here also you do the same. Likewise, here also you just multiply by 2. Okay. So when you multiply by 2, H2 will become H4. Sulfur will become S2. O3 oxygen atom will become O6. Got it? Now here also you are multiplying by 2. So it becomes hydrogen H2 becomes H4. Sulfur becomes S2. Oxygen O4 becomes O8. Now likewise here also hydrogen becomes H2 becomes H4. Sulfur becomes, here the structure is H2SO5. H2SO5. Sulfur becomes S and oxygen O5 becomes O10. Yes, the sulfur becomes S2. Okay, now for H2O6 you are subtracting with water. Okay, so here also you subtract with water. So here you are subtracting with the H2O2. Why you take it as H2O2? Because here it is peroxide. Okay, so peroxide means H2O2. Okay, you are subtracting. Fine. Now after subtracting, what you get? From H4, if you minus H2, what you get? You get H2. This sulfur H2 becomes as it is. Then O6. From O6 you minus oxygen, so it becomes O5. Okay, now from here, from H4 minus H2, so it becomes H2. Sulfur S2 uric acid is from O8 you minus oxygen, so it becomes O7. So likewise here also, here from H4 you minus H2, so it's 2. Then S2 uric acid is, then from O10 you minus O2, it becomes O8. Okay, now let us write the name for this structure. So here sulfurous acid is the basic oxoacid of sulfur here. Okay, so because it is multiplied by 2, this becomes disulfurous acid. It becomes disulfurous acid. Got it? Yes, because a water molecule is being subtracted, is being removed from this H4S2O6. Because a water molecule is removed, so how do you remove? By heating. So for that reason, we use the other terminology pyro. So pyro sulfurous acid. So this is another name for this disulfurous acid. Got it? So H2S2O5 is, the name for H2S2O5 is disulfurous acid. So this is derived from sulfurous acid. Okay, now let us write the name for this structure. So here also, because it is multiplied by 2, so you can write it as disulfuric acid. Okay, so because a water molecule is lost by heating, so that can be written like pyro sulfuric acid. Fine. Yes. Now here it is peroxymonosulfuric acid, because mono means 1. Now we are multiplying by 2, so it becomes peroxy sulfuric acid. So another name for this peroxide disulfuric acid is Marshall acid. Marshall acid. Okay, so for peroxide disulfuric acid is Marshall acid, and for peroxide monosulfuric acid is called as Caros acid. Okay, so these are additional information. These are not there in the textbook. Okay, so additional information. Now we understood how to name the first three oxoacids name, writing the name and the structure we understood. And from those 3 oxoacids we derived again another 3 oxoacid, and how the name is derived, formula and name is derived also we understood. Okay, so from sulfurous acid we got disulfurous acid, from sulfuric acid we got disulfuric acid, from peroxide monosulfuric acid we got peroxide disulfuric acid or Marshall acid. Fine. Now let us see the structure of these. Now let us draw the structure for these oxoacids. So first let us go to the disulfurous acid. So how many sulfur is there? 2 sulfur. So I just put here 2 sulfur. Now how many oxygen atom is there? 5 oxygen atom. So 1 I give here 1, 2, 3, 4. So another 1 I give it here 5. Okay, so one sulfur atom is having 3 oxygen atom, another sulfur atom is having 2 oxygen atom. Okay, so now 5 oxygen atoms are there. Okay, now how many hydrogen atom? 2 hydrogen atom. So that 1 hydrogen I give it over here and another 1 I give it here. Okay, now let us put the bond. So surrounding oxygen, 2 bonds should be there. Okay, yes, and surrounding sulfur, either 4 bonds or 6 bonds should be there. Now, so this oxygen is alone. so I put double bond. Even this oxygen also double bond. For this also double bond. Now here one bond is with hydrogen, so one bonding only is existing. So we can just put here single bond. Here also I put single bond. Another bond is for this hydrogen. Okay. So now, and the bond between sulfur, it becomes sulfur. So this is the structure for disulfurous acid H2SO5. Fine. So is it easy? Fine. It is easy only. Yes. So just understand how the structure is written. Now similarly here also 2 sulfur. So I give here 2 sulfur. Yes. So let me just put it little aside, little far away. Just put. Now how many oxygen atoms? 7 oxygen atoms. So let us distribute oxygen atom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now one more oxygen atom is left over. So that oxygen atom I just put it in the center. Okay. Now hydrogen atom, only 2 hydrogen atoms, so that I put on the sides. So one hydrogen atom here and another hydrogen atom here. Okay. Now I put the bonds here. Okay. So surrounding oxygen 2 bonds. So double bond here, double bond here. Here also double bond. Here also double bond. Now here, because hydrogen is there, so only single bond here. Here also one hydrogen, so single bond. Now this oxygen should have 2 bonds. Okay, double bond. So I cannot put double bond as it is. So what will I do? I put a bond over here and another here. Okay. Now this oxygen is having 2 bonds. And surrounding sulfur, how many bonds? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 bonds are here. Here also surrounding the sulfur, 6 bond is there. Okay. So this is the structure for disulfuric acid. Now let us see the structure for peroxide disulfuric acid. So here 2 sulfur atom. So 1 S 2 sulfur atom. Now 8 oxygen atom is there. So let us represent that 8 oxygen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now 2 oxygen atom where should we put? Because it is a peroxide. Peroxide is 2 oxygen atom. So I said you O bond O will be present in peroxide. So that O bond O I just put it over here. Yes. Now let us write with the hydrogen atom. So one hydrogen atom over here, another hydrogen atom here. So 2 hydrogen atom is also represented here. Now let us represent the bonds. So for this oxygen atom, double bond. Here also double bond. So double bond, double bond. Now for this here, single bond because one bond is with the hydrogen. Here also single bond. Okay. Now surrounding sulfur there should be 6 bond or 4 bond. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bond is there. So I put here 1 bond. Okay. Now here also 1 bond. So sulfur 6 bonds are satisfied here. Here also sulfur is having surrounding 6 bonds. Fine. So this is the structure for peroxide disulfuric acid or Marshall acid. Okay. So now we studied 6 oxoacids of sulfur with their structures. So first 3 structures we have already studied. They are the basic structures we have studied. So ultimate basic is sulfuric acid. From sulfuric acid, sulfurous acid and peroxide monosulfuric acid is obtained. From those again disulfuric acid is obtained, disulfurous acid is obtained, peroxide disulfuric acid is obtained, and the structures also we understood. Now how many are left again? Now another 4 oxoacids are left. Okay, so let us see which all structures we studied. Sulfurous acid, sulfuric acid, peroxide monosulfuric acid we studied, then disulfurous acid we studied, then disulfuric acid we studied, yes, then peroxide disulfuric acid also we studied. So now remaining dithionic acid and polythionic acid we have to study, and thiosulfuric acid structure we have to study. So that will see. Now let us draw the structure for the remaining 4 oxoacids of sulfur. So 6 we have already studied the names and structures. So the remaining is H2S2O3. So written. Then comes H2S2O4. Then comes the H2S2O6, and then last the polythionic acid. So first let us start from H2S2O3. Okay. So H2S2O3, it is derived from sulfuric acid. H2SO4. That means from sulfuric acid, one oxygen is removed. Subtract one oxygen, so that gives you O3. And as you subtract one oxygen, you add one sulfur. Yes, so it becomes S2. So that gives you your H2S2O3. Okay. So from sulfuric acid you get thiosulfuric acid. So how you get thiosulfuric acid? So H2SO4. From this you just subtract one oxygen, so it becomes O3. And you want to add sulfur, so it becomes H2S2O3. Okay. So now this is the name thio because it is derived, because one sulfur is added to sulfuric acid. So for that reason only you tell it as thio. Okay. And to what the sulfur is added? To the sulfuric acid. So it becomes thiosulfuric acid. Yes. So these all are the methods where you should tricks you have to keep in your mind so that easily you will be able to write the name and the structure. Okay. Now the name of this H2S2O3 is thiosulfuric acid. So how did you get the name thiosulfuric acid? Because it is derived from sulfuric acid. An oxygen is removed and a sulfur is added. Because you add sulfur, the name thio, and this to sulfuric acid, the sulfur is added, so it is thiosulfuric acid. Fine. So that is your name. Now let us look into this one. H2S2O4. So H2S2O4 is again here you write di. Why? Because dithio. Why do you write thio? Because two sulfur atom is there. Okay, two sulfur atom is there, so it is dithio. And oxygen 4 atoms. So 4 oxygen atom. Here also no difference between these two formulas. Here it is 4 oxygen atom. Here it is 6 oxygen atom. So the oxygen atom where the number of oxygen atom is less, so that you give it as Dionys acid. Okay. Then here oxygen atom is more comparatively, so here you give it as dithionic acid. Dithionic acid. Dithionic acid H2S2O6. Fine, so it's easy for you to remember. So this both the formulas are similar. So you just only difference in the two oxygen atom. So the here because it is two oxygen atom is less, here you write it as dithionic acid. Here two oxygen atom is more, so you write it as dithionic acid. Fine. Now let us write the structure for this. So here it is two sulfur atom. So I just write. So this structure is very different from all other structure. Okay. So this it is very simple, easy. Once you know the structure, know the name, then writing the structure is easy. So here two sulfur atom. So I just put here one and another here like this I write. Okay. Then how many oxygen atom? 3 oxygen atom. So one oxygen atom I put it here, another oxygen atom I put it here, and one I put it here. Okay. Now hydrogen, how many hydrogen atom? 2 hydrogen atom. So one I put it over here, and another one I put it here. Okay. Now I should satisfy with the bond. So here I put single bond because another bond is with hydrogen. Here oxygen is alone, so I put double bond. Here also oxygen is with the hydrogen, so I put here single bond. And here this sulfur is alone, so it should be always double bond. When sulfur is alone, it should be double bond. Likewise, when oxygen is alone, it should be double bond. Okay. So this is the structure for thiosulfuric acid. Now let us put the structure for dithionous acid. So this is also very simple. Two sulfur I have written. Then 4 oxygen atom. So 1, 2, 3, 4 oxygen atom I have given. 2 hydrogen atom. So 1 hydrogen atom here, another one here. Yes. Now let us satisfy the bond here. So here double bond, cross a double bond. So here single bond, cross a single bond, and here we will just keep single. Okay. Now surrounding the sulfur atom 4 bonds are there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So surrounding this sulfur 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bonds. So this is structure for dithionous acid. Now we will give for dithionic acid. So dithionic acid here also 2 sulfur is there. 2 sulfur is there. Then hydrogen, oxygen 6 are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 oxygen atom. Now 2 hydrogen atom. So 1 hydrogen atom here to this oxygen. The one here. All atoms are represented here. Now let us put the bond. Double bond. Double bond. Here also double bond. Double bond. Here single bond. Here also single bond. And here also one single bond. Fine. Now surrounding this sulfur atom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So surrounding the sulfur atom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Yes. Now the last one. So now we saw 9 oxoacids sulfur structure and the name we have studied. Okay. So now the last one is left over here is polythionic acid. Let's draw the structure for polythionic acid. Yes. So polythionic acid. So H2 N plus 2 O6. So this is the formula. Okay. So in this structure, Sn should be there. Sn means what? N number of sulfur atoms. So that I just put it in the center. Then surrounding sulfur Sn, one sulfur atom on the left side and another sulfur atom on the right side should be there. Okay. Then after that you put the oxygen atom, one over here, 2 oxygen atom, 3 oxygen atom, 4 oxygen atom, 5 oxygen atom, 6 oxygen atom. Okay, now you put the bond here. Now hydrogen. So hydrogen, 2 hydrogen here, 1 hydrogen over here, and another one here. Okay, now we put the bond. Here single bond. So here also single bond. Now here double bond. Here also double bond. Double bond. Double bond. Okay, so this is the structure for polythionic acid. The last acid. Oxoacids of sulfur. Okay, so Sn should be there. Sn should be there, and surrounding the sulfur atom, 6 bonds are here, and here also 6 bonds are there. Right? So that completes your 10 oxoacid structure of sulfur. So all these structures, you can write the name as well as draw the structure easily. So repeatedly just watch the video once or twice and then take your rough note and work out how the structure is formed, draw the structure, write the names of structure. So definitely you will be thorough with all the 10 oxoacids of sulfur. It's very important to the competitive exams like NEET exams, how to write the structures and they will give you the name. From the name you have to write the structure. Okay, so for that reason only all the names, how the names are derived, how the structures are derived, all the things I have explained here. Fine. So I hope you understood. If you don't understand, please repeatedly watch the video. Yes, thank you.